Oh yeah, guys, I pulled a Barbenheimer over the weekend, the opening weekend of these two very different films, Barbie Movie and the Oppenheimer biopic by Chris Nolan. A month ago, if you told me I was going to go see the Barbie Movie, I would have said that that's unlikely, but there was so much hype behind this film that I figured I just had to see it to be a part of the culture. You know what I'm saying? And I figured if I wasted my time watching these two movies this weekend, I might as well talk about them for a video for clout, right? The end of the film, and this is my biggest problem with it, at the end of the film, instead of coming to the conclusion that men and women can coexist and collaborate in a positive way that's fruitful, and that a properly functioning society requires men and women to work side by side to keep things running, and men and women are good at different things, but they are still should be afforded the same opportunities and abilities to advance and everything like that. Instead of that being the actual final message in totality, they kind of just go back to restoring Barbie Land to the matriarchy and making sure men don't really have any power. This is a film that is sanctioned by the Mattel Toy Corporation, who, if we're really being honest, bro, if we're truly being honest, Mattel is part of the much larger issue of the feminism slash patriarchy, matriarchy, whatever the fuck, gender normative role, blah, blah, blah. Because toys are the very beginning of when little boys and little girls start getting pushed in gender normative roles, right? Because in the girl toy aisle, it's dolls and mommy stuff and Barbies where you have to look pretty and be skinny. For men, they get trucks, cars, soldiers, army, military stuff, guns, toy guns, and super soakers, and Nerf guns. And I'm not even going to talk about how that just aids the military industrial complex in the United States, and it pushes boys into thinking that those things are very cool, so they enlist later. If you walk into these toy aisles, a little less now than it was. The toy aisles are separated, blue and pink. If it wasn't in the boys aisle, a boy couldn't buy it or play with it. That would be weird. And if it was in the boys aisle, it'd be weird for a girl to buy or play with it, right? Video games are included in this. That shit is designed by the toy companies and by the retailers. If we really want to talk about who's at fault for the shoehorning of women not feeling empowered enough to be business people and stuff like that, I'm not saying there isn't legitimate obstacles set up in real life. There is prejudices, and there are actual things that happen that can gatekeep, and people get gate kept based on their age, based on their race, based on their gender, whatever it is. It happens every day. I'm not saying those things don't exist. They do. They absolutely do, and they have for a very long time. But aside from those real world obstacles that you face once you become an adult, as a child, you are already being funneled in these gender normative roles. For Mattel to sanction a movie where they try to propagandize it's everyone else's fault that these gender normative issues exist, they literally are the beginning of manufacturing that problem that is then pervaded all the way through the entire lifespan of a person. As always on this channel, we've always talked about the corporations, the businesses that profit off of these products, and Barbie is a marketing product that is also the product of great marketing, which is, nothing they do is truly substantive, right? If it's coming from a big corporation, there is an air to it where they will say or do whatever they want and have to in order to make the most money. The top brands that they offer, Barbie, it's pink, and Hot Wheels, it's blue and red, and it's flames, and they have Disney under their belt, and they have Jurassic Park, the WWE figures, everything, dude. It all comes through Mattel. Mattel is such a huge industrial toy steam engine that has been churning since our parents and their parents were around. They've been funneling this shit and cramming it down the throats of these kids. Just remember, you're being fed product. You're literally going to see a fucking movie that's promoting a toy product. That's literally the whole movie. The movie's secondly meant to entertain you. It's firstly meant to expand the Barbie brand, make it more well-known across the world, and to boost its revenue. I mean, look at Mattel's website. What do you think everyone's going to do after they go see the Barbie movie? All the parents and the little girls. What do you think they're going to go do? They're going to go to Mattel's website. They're going to want to buy some Barbies. Oh, well, shop the Barbie movie, buy the Barbie movie stuff. We got everything you could possibly think of. Every scene, every character is a toy. And you can buy it for the low price of $50, $75, $50, $50 on the Black President Barbie doll. Which, can I just say, like, if we are acknowledging that black people in America are a marginalized group, why the fuck would you price that? The most important doll, Black woman president doll from the movie, $50. It's shitty, dude. Like, this is what I'm talking about. If it was actually about equality, if it was actually about the raising up of marginalized groups and like all this different shit, you wouldn't have Black president female Barbie be $50. You just wouldn't. It would be more affordable. If your actual goal was to actually make anything better, you wouldn't do that as corporation who just made $1.4 billion fucking dollars in a year. You wouldn't do that. So fuck a movie that's talking about all this like charged political bullshit to make everyone divert their attention away from corporation trying to profit off of all of it. They don't care if you're black or white or a woman but they don't give a fuck. Actually, they just want your money. If you're willing to pay $50 for it, they'll take your money. Trust me. And they don't care about getting these empowering, look, to a young black girl, woman president in a beautiful dress that says president on it. That's the kind of empowering shit that little girls would need, right? Especially little black girls would need. Don't make it $50. Do you think it costs $50 to make that doll? Do you actually? Maybe it does. Hey, I don't make toys. Maybe it does. Maybe they're taking a loss on that one. I doubt it. $1 billion in revenue in 1 year? I doubt it. Those margins must be pretty good, right? Those margins must be pretty decent. So why make it $50? If you were all about bridging the gap and equality and helping marginalized groups, and you actually had any sliver of a fuck to give about doing anything like genuinely substantive or generative for the world that you seem so fucking concerned about, that you want everyone to walk out of the theater and think, God, Mattel and the Barbie movie, they're so considerate. They're so progressive. They're so intelligent. Look at that great movie that was empowering for young girls. They really do care. No, they don't fucking care. They want you to go to the website and buy the $50 doll or the $75 plastic truck for young black girls in America to get their hands on this, to have this sitting on their shelves, to play with this, to have it in their hands, that it would be worth even operating at a loss on this one product, to have the margins on this one product be just a little worse so that more little girls could have it, so that more little girls could grow up thinking they really could be president. Look at this doll. Look how beautiful this doll is. She can be president. I can be president. Then that would matter more to you, but it doesn't. It's about the profits. It's about making $1 billion a year, $1 billion. That is what is most important. This movie is not about giving a fuck. It's not about being woke. It's not about any of the progressive shit. We are all doing exactly what corporation wanted, because mind you, these corporations employ psychologists, experts in their field, expert marketers, expert advertisers, experts in psychology and human behavior, so that they can maximize our attention and our dollars. They know that making a film exactly the way it was would cause and stir up enough discourse or enough hype or whatever it may be so that people continue talking about the movie and doing free marketing for the movie online by talking about it and arguing about it even. You have Ben Shapiro making a fucking 1 hour review of it. I don't know if the dude's ever talked about a movie in his life. I don't know if he knows anything about movies, but he's fucking talking about Barbie. Like, everyone fell for it. Every single person is giving free marketing to this fucking corporation fucking toy movie, and it's crazy. They open themselves up to this criticism, Mattel, because they mask this marketing ploy as some sort of social commentary that's generative to the greater good or something. But that's not what they care about at all. They knew that doing that would make them more money. They didn't do it because they wanted to say anything important. Does that make sense to you? Does it make sense to you that WB just had their biggest flop maybe ever with The Flash, and they really need to make money off of Barbie? That they pulled out all the stops for the marketing and Mattel helped so that they could make sure the film was successful and everybody ate? Truly just let it sink in about the actual intentions of these companies and why they're doing these things. And in an age where this level of discourse and highly politicized side-taking bullshit tests the best and has the best impressions and gets the most clicks and the most comments and the most replies, blah, 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 because it's divisive and it's negative is what performs the best. And so they will do it, and they will do it because it makes money, not because it says something important or substantive, which is why the overall themes and the conclusion of the film and the resolution of the film and the ideas of the film none of them are coherent. None of them are actually substantive or truly fully realized, because that wasn't the point. If it was, the one or two important themes would be clearly outlined and clearly, wrapped up in a bow in a really satisfying manner, but that's not the case because it's not the intention, because it's not the goal. The goal is to make something that's arguably divisive enough, confusing enough, and weird enough to make people talk about it, and they achieved it. Mattel isn't the fucking girl toy company. It's every toy that they make, right? For boys and for girls. Of course, like more gender neutral, less normative toys are starting to come out. I think like Monster High is kind of a good example of that, because it's like, hey, it's cool to be goth and shit. It's less normative, it's less whatever, but there's still those tones, there's still all that stuff underlying, and you can't undo, hundreds of years of gender affirming toy production and marketing dollars in just a few years, with making a few new lines of stuff. And by the way, it pervaded into video games as well. Like, video games were not marketed to girls. They were always depicted in advertising as mostly male. After, very soon after video games inception, very quickly became adopted as a boy toy, something that girls shouldn't or don't really engage in, even though prior to all that marketing being spent on pushing that in its depictions for these products, like, girls liked video games, like little girls also engaged in video games, but then once it became more prevalently marketed towards boys, the amount of girls who were interested in gaming obviously went away more. For Mattel to make a movie that talks about the patriarchy and the matriarchy and a lack of equality and stuff like that, it's so funny because Mattel believes there are key differences between males and females, and they profit off of that every day. They exploit it every day, they market towards it every day, and they push it every day, and they make the products that affirm it to young, impressionable children. The world is part the way it is because of that. Like the Barbie movie, it was fun for a little bit. I like some of the musical numbers. I love Ryan Gosling. I love Margot Robbie. Everyone's very talented. The directing is really good. All right. The writing, not so much. And the themes are all over the fucking place and very incoherent, in my opinion. And they lack a central conclusion that is meaningful or at all important or substantive. There are some really good moments of the film. It's a little high concept at times, and some of the humor is going to go over kids' heads, and some of the themes are going to go over kids' heads. I don't hate the movie, and I don't think the movie's evil either. I just think the movie's, like, as far as what it's trying to say, because it tries to appear so smart and so high level and intelligent, and it actually doesn't say anything. And I think on that merit, it is annoying. It's annoying to watch a movie that's so full of itself and tries to act so morally grandstanding, but then fails to actually say anything important at all. It's kind of just talking. It's like ba 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 in your ear the whole time. And then when it comes down to it, when it comes down to the important moment where it's all supposed to come together and you're supposed to get something out of it, it just falls short. As a man, maybe, where I'm like, oh yeah, that is crazy to have the roles reversed and to live in a matriarchy where, like, men aren't valued at all. Like, that sucks. Like, oh, I get it. I get it. I get what you're saying there. That would suck. But the movie isn't meant for boys. It's meant for girls. So, like, then what do they get out of it? I don't know. Maybe I just don't get it because I'm not a little girl. I don't know. Very long rambling. Those are my thoughts. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to shut the fuck up now. Let me know what you thought about the film or didn't think about it, or if you're going to see it, don't want to see it. Does it suck? Is it a masterpiece? Whatever. And do you think I'm on the money at all here, or do you think I'm just kind of grasping at straws and bitching? Whatever. Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next one.